Michelle from Life School, and what I'm going to teach today is how to make a basic house salad. This is the type of salad that can work with so many different dishes. It's a really simple salad. This is the type of salad also that you can prep in advance at the beginning of the week and just sort of throw together throughout the week. So let me get started by telling you about the things I've already done to prep. So as you can see back here, there's a bunch of lettuce lying on a towel, and about an hour ago I washed the lettuce by putting it in a big bowl, and it's just laying out here to dry. I also just washed the cherry tomatoes and some cucumbers. One of the most important things when you're making a salad is to have a mixture of flavors and textures. So for texture, I wanted to have a little crunch, so I pulled in the cucumber, and for flavors, I wanted to make sure to have something sweet. I'm using a simple romaine lettuce, which is just a sort of neutral base, and then we're gonna make a dressing, and to zhuzh it up just a tiny bit, we're actually gonna make some croutons. So for dressing, we're gonna make a balsamic vinaigrette. We're gonna use a little balsamic vinegar and olive oil, some salt and pepper, and a tiny bit of mustard, and that will help it all come together and emulsify. So the most important thing to do when you're making a vinaigrette is to emulsify the vinaigrette. And that is a term that means really to blend them together. A lot of people make a vinaigrette by just whisking it in a bowl. And the trouble with that is that the oil and the vinegar will not properly mix. What will happen is the dressing will separate in the salad, and you'll have some pieces of lettuce that have a lot of oil on them and some pieces of lettuce that have a lot of vinegar on them. And it just doesn't make for the best experience. So what you want to do is get a jar or a blender or something like that to really ensure you can mix it. And it's really simple. You just want a 3-to-1 ratio of oil to vinegar. So you don't even have to worry about what size measuring cup or anything you want to use. I think today I'm just going to use a 1/4 cup, and I'm going to try to make enough dressing to last for more than one salad. Something I really love to do is on a Sunday afternoon just make a dressing and keep it for the week and use it up over the course of the week. If you have a bunch of greens or vegetables ready and prepped, then all you have to do in the middle of the week is just take them out and blend them together. It takes about, 3 minutes to make a salad. Whereas if you're every single time making a salad and you start all over again with dressing, it's just gonna be such a pain in the butt. So we're gonna make a week's worth of dressing, or 3-4 salads worth of dressing. So I'm gonna do a full 1/4 cup of balsamic. And then since it's 3-to-1, we're gonna do 3 of these guys worth of olive oil. So you could use tablespoons or something smaller, really anything. Now we're just gonna add a tiny bit of mustard, which will help it blend together. You also do this when you make mayonnaise, when you emulsify egg yolks with olive oil. That's how you make mayonnaise. You put a little mustard in it, and it also helps it emulsify. And we'll do a couple pinches of salt, maybe just like 3, and some pepper. Just do it to taste, and you can always add more. I'm gonna put a lid on it, and we're gonna shake this puppy up. Now, you can do some other things to make this sort of zhuzhed up. You can add some shallots or a little garlic, herbs, there's so many things. You can look up just any basic vinaigrette add-ins or just look at some recipes for vinaigrettes. But this is a pretty consistent or pretty common base. All right, so the way you taste the dressing, you don't want to taste it directly because it'll be too strong. You take a little piece of lettuce and you dip it in. Little dip. Pretty solid. I will say it's a tiny bit on the bland side, so I'm gonna add a little more mustard and a little more salt. That's much better. And you can use this with veggies, crudité, basic green salad. Very tasty, pretty healthy, easy. So croutons are one of my absolute favorite things to put in salads. I think that they just add so much crunch and flavor and depth and sort of richness. I just love croutons. We're going to actually make garlic croutons. So I'm first gonna just mince up a little garlic, and then we are going to chop the bread and basically just fry it in a pan and toss it in the salad, and it's gonna be very tasty. toss a salad properly. So something that a lot of people do is, there's a couple mistakes people make when they toss their salad. One, they might use like big heavy metal spoons that kind of crush the lettuce. And remember, it's very delicate, so you want to keep it fluffy. Most people would recommend that you use plastic or melamine or wooden spoons or your hands to toss. Another thing that's important to do is not overdress it. It is impossible to get rid of dressing once you've overdressed it. So just dress like about half as much as you think you need, and then you'll have a sense for how much more you need to add, and then you can add a little more. So in this case, I'm gonna make about 2 servings worth of salad. And so I'm just putting in tomatoes and the cucumbers, and I'm gonna toss a tiny bit of the dressing in, wooden salad tossing tongs, scoop from the bottom. So a lot of the dressing will fall to the bottom, and so people will be tossing and not actually getting it into the bottom, and then they don't understand why it gets overdressed, and it's because it was all pooling, and then they end up with a pool of dressing in their plate, which is gross. So make sure to really get down there and pull up those leaves that are at the bottom, and ensure that they are really tossing with the other leaves. Okay, that looks pretty good. And give it a taste. Okay, good. So that's actually the right amount of dressing. And the other thing we're gonna do, just to make sure it has enough flavor, is we're gonna salt the leaves a little bit. Actually, we're gonna use a special salt called Maldon salt, which is a flaky sea salt, and it has a little crunch in it. And again, we just want those we just want those textures. So we're gonna use, instead of regular kosher salt, which we used in the dressing, we're gonna use the Maldon or flaky sea salt, which has a little crunch. And I just sort of grind it up in my hand and put it in. I'm using a pepper grinder on the coarsest grind. I don't want it to be like really, powdery. I want it to be a little coarser. So we're gonna put a tiny bit of pepper, and then a couple croutons. And here we go. A beautiful, simple, rustic sort of house salad with hand-torn croutons. Kind of hard to go wrong with this. This is the type of thing you can really have with almost any meal. You can store your big bowl of all your prepped veggies in one place, and then your dry ingredients or toasted nuts, whatnot, in a different place, and then throw them together throughout the week. And there you go. You have a lovely little salad to start your dinners. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, and bon appetit.